Right, 7 February 2025, and today is yet another Friday, and I'm going to be giving you quite a lot of stories to cover. Today is a very important day because of what is going to be happening in Tanzania, and what is expected is that SADC and EAC are going to start engaging this 2 days. So these 2 days they're going to engage, and that is specifically South Africa and Rwanda. So there is a massive fight taking place in the DRC with Rwanda on one side and South Africa on the other side. So South Africa has got a lot of soldiers in the DRC, and Rwanda is pushing a lot of soldiers, also police, and is also supporting the M23 rebels who have taken over in the DRC. They've taken the city of Goma, and although there is a ceasefire, the DRC is currently experiencing a takeover by M23. Yesterday, people started removing goods in panic from their shops. So my sources in the DRC, they tell me that M23 has now advanced to Bukavu, which is the biggest city or town of North Kivu. So that is Bukavu. And people are removing their goods from the shops to avoid what happened in Goma, where looting took place. So I want to show you some of the footage right now coming out of that town of Bukavu, where people are removing their goods from the shops because an attack is imminent. So there is a takeover that is taking place, and the rebels are only 20 kilometers away.
Panike kadutu ona wachuruzi wanatosha magari mavitu vyao mu magari kabisa. Panike mukadutu mutuko panike shakwa mu wachuruzi basiwaibe bitu biko na kia ingia alishe nayo hii hapa. Angalia magari hizi zote zinakia kamata vitu, hizi magari zote magari ya mavitu ya wachuruzi. Panic. You
can see the massive panic that is over there. A lot of activity taking place. What happened is that the rebels organized a fake rally in Goma. And as everyone was watching Goma, they went and attacked at Bukavu. And this resulted, in fact, they haven't attacked, but they're advancing towards Bukavu. They've taken villages close, and they're only 20 kilometers away from the main city, which means they are making inroads, and the government of the DRC is unable to do anything. Malawi has announced yesterday that they are removing the soldiers from the DRC. So if you go to Paul Tungwarara's Twitter, you will see this statement here. I'm not the one who published this, so you can go and check it out on Paul Tungwarara's Twitter. The Malawi president has ordered the Malawi Defense Forces to begin withdrawal from the DRC. And this is ongoing. And you saw the rally I was talking about. I want to just show you footage of the rally. A lot of people went to that rally where the rebels were dancing and celebrating, while at the same time, another group of rebels was attacking. Right, my apologies about the huge noise, so I have to take it off. But it's over there. There is a lot that is taking place in the DRC, and today we expect SADC and EAC to reach some form of, or to start some form of dialogue or negotiation. As you know, there are many factors and many players in the DRC, and that is the most important story of the day. Now let's go to Zimbabwe and our headline. And what has happened is that Mnangagwa and Paul Tungwarara of Prevail Drilling. I told you last week that Mnangagwa fled to Dubai and was staying at the house of Paul Tungwarara. So what has happened is that Mnangagwa has dispatched Paul Tungwarara to start going and give war veterans cash so that they don't fight him. And this money is being given in the form of loans, in the form of cash on the hand, and also all sorts of gimmicks are taking place. And this weekend, they are going to be approaching war veterans in Bulawayo, Mat South and Mat North. And Paul Tungwarara will be over there. He will be one of the guest speakers. You also have Jabulani Zbanda, Mahia, and you also have, I think that's Mavunga over there, who's going to be attending this meeting. But Paul Tungwarara is going to be playing an important role. Remember, Paul Tungwarara was given 2 big contracts. So the first contract was for drilling, obviously the bore drilling, and then the solar, and also he's doing the smart city. So Paul Tungwarara has got more than 5 billion that was given. These contracts are worth more than $5 billion. And this is the money that they're giving the war veterans, or trying to give the war veterans. However, war veterans are rejecting the money. They are rejecting Paul Tungwarara. They want change. And Mnangagwa is going to be out of office very soon. I'm anticipating and estimating that by the end of this month, we're going to have a major development. War veterans are fed up with Mnangagwa, especially with his plan to go for a 3rd term. So Blessed Geza is likely going to be arrested sometime this week, as they have put up a charge of murder on him. So they're saying that he murdered somebody. So let's see what happens over there. And however, he said that he's not going to be arrested. If they try to arrest him, there's going to be hell to pay. So there's 2 groups of war veterans, one led by Mahia, which is working with Mnangagwa, and one which is led by Blessed Geza here, which is calling for Mnangagwa to step down. They are saying that the only 2030 that Mnangagwa is going to see is 8:30 on the clock. So Paul Tungwarara, I don't know what his strategy is, but he is the one who is leading this effort to give money to the war veterans. He's Mnangagwa's advisor. And my understanding is that this is a last-ditch attempt to get the war veterans to leave the side of Paul Geza, of Blessed Geza, and go to the side of Paul Tungwarara. So this is crazy and unbelievable, and I don't think it's going to work. The majority of the people want the war veterans to push and do what they're doing. And I hope that this succeeds. I hope that Blessed Geza succeeds, and the rest of the guys that are working with him. And I hope that the war veterans see through the attempt to buy them with nothing. $100,000 is nothing. $150,000 is nothing. One car that Wiknochify is giving to Jack Preza can be $400,000. And the whole veterans in Matabeleland South, Matabeleland North, and Bulawayo are getting 150,000. If Mnangagwa is serious, he must take out 1 billion and give the war veterans. That is the only thing that will make sense. Otherwise, what he's trying to do now is just a joke. Right, I want to quickly go through some news. Today I'm going to be traveling, so I'm not going to cover a lot of further stories. Let's go through a plane crash that has just taken place. So the Zimbabwe Defense Forces has announced a crash. So one of the people that, or the youngsters, and this is Lieutenant Nesbet Tambudza, passed away after his jet trainer crashed near Guinea-Fowl in Gweru. So this just happened, and the Zimbabwe Defense Forces has issued a statement on this one. Then in South Africa, there is a massive crisis. South Africa and the United States have reached a point of no return. So South Africa is being seen by the United States as an enemy, and also as fighting the interests of the United States of America. So Marco Rubio has said that South Africa is working with Cuba to support Hamas. And I just want to show you the video now. So this is not going to end well, because this is very, very bad. The United States doesn't like anyone who supports terrorists. And let me show you the video of Rubio saying South Africa is working with Cuba to support Hamas.
I have no intention of going to Havana with this regime in place other than to discuss when they're going to leave. That regime is a disaster. It's destroyed the country. They're incompetent and they're evil, that regime. But they're also a threat to the United States. They've invited China to open spy bases. They invite Russia in. They're partners with Iran. They just joined a partnership with South Africa to support Hamas at the expense of Israel. That isn't a government. That is a regime that is hostile to the United States.
Okay, so South Africa is being seen as being hostile to the United States, is being seen as being hostile to the interests of very, very powerful people. This is a very bad thing for South Africa. And I don't know how they're going to fix it. But if you're on that side of the other side of the EAC, you don't end well for you. That is clear. Something terrible is going to happen to the economy. Because if you look at President Trump, the way he works, he doesn't do half measures. He just goes. So some of the things that he's signing right now, if you look at them, if you look at what he signed last night, it's unbelievable that it's been signed in the United States of America. So South Africa and President Cyril Ramaphosa are in a very tight spot, especially with this connection to Hamas. I do not know how they're going to do it, but there is no way that they can be connected to Hamas and do well. They will definitely get a big problem in their country, in South Africa, especially the rand. You're going to see a big impact on the rand. You're going to see a big impact on the economy of South Africa, and they will have to choose a side. Unfortunately, I don't think they've gotten the memo. So if you look at today's paper, if you look at today's Tsholotsho newspaper, President Cyril Ramaphosa is saying he will not be bullied. So I don't understand if he understands who he's talking to. The American guys, they do not play. There is going to be a lot of problems for South Africa regarding this Hamas issue. And I just want to show you the newspaper itself, where President Cyril Ramaphosa said he will not be bullied. So I don't know what he's thinking, but he's thinking whatever he's doing is for the good of his country. Although I think that it's not. The expropriation of land, if you look at the expropriation of land, if you look at his policies on the Middle East, all this is opposite to what the Americans are doing. And this approach of saying we're going to redress the imbalance of the past in the face of the threats from the United States, I do not think it's going to work. I think negotiation here was going to be the best approach. But this is what he has decided to do. President Cyril Ramaphosa yesterday giving a State of the Nation address and digging in on his position regarding expropriation of land and also support for Hamas. As they say, he's supporting Hamas. I don't know if he supports Hamas, but that is what the Americans are saying. And they're saying that it's a threat to the American interests. Then in Zimbabwe, again, Econet has launched a bundle for $30. So you can now buy airtime for $30. And that is uncapped internet. And that means it's almost the same now as Starlink. So the same bundle that you have with Starlink, you can now have it on Econet. And then another thing is that there's a lion that is roaming in Tsholotsho. So in Tsholotsho, there are many lions roaming. 10 cattle have been killed over the past week. So over the past week, 10 cattle have been killed by this roaming lion. So if you're in Tsholotsho area, be very careful. They come out at night, and the Zimbabwean authorities have failed to deal with this lion that is roaming. So these lions come out at night, and they don't eat people. They just eat wildlife or domestic animals. They go into the crows, and apparently this is some sort of traditional lion. According to what I've heard, this is some sort of traditional lion. Then the ZITF is going to be at the end of April. They've started advertising if a sponsor or if you want to exhibit. the ZITF is going to run from the 21 to the 26th of April. And then there's also an AI conference that has been announced by independent newspaper. So if you go over here, you'll see that there's an AI conference. They're charging a whooping $1,300, and you must have your own transport and accommodation. It's crazy that Trevor Nuli is charging so much for a conference. I can't believe it. But people still go. AI is very popular, and people want to know how to make money with AI. However, if you want to know how to make money with AI, you must ask me. I'm doing the PhD in AI, and I see that Heart and Soul TV has also introduced their presenters. So if you like Heart and Soul, if you like Garrett B, is obviously the most well-known presenter here. So they've got a lot of presenters in this channel. That is Dr. Tsungi, Tapua Chizana, Unique, Zimuto, Nick McKay, and Nicole. And they also have other people here. Let me show you some of the presenters that they have here. That is Tafi Chaka, Dino, Rudo. We are going to Jonas, and Jonas, Valentine, Alpha, and Stabile. Then there's obviously the guys at the bottom, like Grace is the last person at the end. I wonder what she did to deserve to be number last in this whole list of people. So the media doing very well. I think Hudson saw Newsday and Zimbabwe Independent doing quite well, and obviously owned by Mnangagwa. Right, I want to bring this to an end. As I said, I'm traveling. 10 days given to Mnangagwa to step down. Mnangagwa has been given 10 days to step down. Let's see what happens next week. Let's see if Mnangagwa steps down within 10 days, like he was told to do. And then I want to look at one newspaper before I go. And the newspaper I want to look at today is the H Metro newspaper. So you know that there was a very bad story that happened last week in Bulawayo, where a young woman killed her whole family with a digger. So the H Metro is carrying a story. You can go and check it out on their pages. And what this story is saying, that the brutal murder of a Bulawayo man, Edwin Chimbangu, and his 2 children has left the community of Quadri Park in shock and sorrow. Tragically, the homeowners had never settled into the property when the incident cast an ominous shadow over their lives. The owners were leasing out the house to Chimbangu's family. So now the locals are saying this house needs to be cleansed traditionally. And you can see that this is a horrific disaster. And we can not do the cleansing ritual. So go check it out over there, H Metro newspaper, sorry, B Metro newspaper. And maybe let me look at H Metro and see what is over there. B Metro newspaper and H Metro newspaper are sister newspapers, one in Bulawayo, one in Harare. And then in B Metro, in H Metro says once a year, water, rocks marriage. This is terrible, guys. I also could come there. So go and check out the story. It says, let me see. You see, my brother Sharup, I always tell him, when you write your story in the front page, you must say what page your story is. So these guys, they don't say what page their story is. So you have to start moving around. But anyway, a Harare couple deserves a place in the Guinness Book of Records. They have been having water only once a year. And it's something that is now threatening their marriage. This was revealed in court by Fortunate Mchenje, who was seeking a protection order against her husband, Moses Nakujika. Nakujika said he was not happy with his wife because she only prepared to have water with him once a year. Guys, so what I want to say to you guys is, vanhu vakuru ava ngavaite zvimwe, not izvavari kuita izvi. It's so crazy that old people are still worried about such things. But I just want to see what these people look like. I want to show you guys what these people look like so that you can put a face to the story. I know that most of you will not be able to see this newspaper because they are so far away from Harare. So this is the couple, a very young couple, once a year, Pota, Yaneta, and someone had to get a protection order. Okay, very interesting. H Metro always giving me the laughs every morning. The TMZ of Zimbabwe, one of my favorite newspapers. And then obviously, a lot is happening. I don't think today I'll be able to go through all my favorite people. No Social Media is not posted. Mini is not posted. Who else? Let's see what President Hakainde Hichilema has said. President Hakainde Hichilema is always on top of his game. There is no one in Africa like President Hakainde Hichilema. He posts multiple times a day. He makes a video to his people. President Hakainde Hichilema, I like that man. Very, very interesting president. And Zambia is blessed to have a president like President Hakainde Hichilema. So having a media interaction with the Japanese media colleagues in Tokyo, Japan, as you know, President Hakainde Hichilema currently in Japan trying to get Toyota to come and invest into a plant, a parts manufacturing plant in Zambia. And then my Sekuru Vena, as usual, he was live last night. He has millions of people on his live. President Venancio Mondlane, the second president of Mozambique. Mozambique has got two presidents, a parallel government, which is being run by President Venancio Mondlane, and the party, the other president who rigged, who is Chapo. So that is the two presidents of Mozambique. You can always go and check out the lives by President Venancio Mondlane every night, and it's amazing. So now let's go to announcements. I've got two exciting announcements. So, Muve, what we're going to do is we're going to give a special to all our guys in Harare. In Blawa, we put a running special where you get a ginger and a honey when you buy a packet for Valentine's Day. In Harare, we're going to introduce a new special starting next week. That is, you get one packet for your wife when you buy a packet of Mve between today and next week, 14th, that is Valentine's Day. So Friday, next week is 14th, is Valentine's Day. If you buy a packet between today and Friday, you are going to be able to collect a second packet of 200 grams and you must give it to your wife. And you see, 1 year water, by a pera. In fact, Move also works for women, many things. So you must give your wife the packet. You only get it when you buy between today and Friday next week. And then for my guys in the UK, if you buy a packet between today and Friday next week, we're going to give you another packet for free. And for the guys that have bought this week, previously, this whole week, UK guys, if you bought this week, I'm going to also give you that special. You just have to arrange to collect in Harare. So that is it. Rush for this special. It will never be repeated again. Gambako is the only place where you can buy Move right now. There is no stock anywhere else. And we have a factory that is manufacturing, that is accredited, the only accredited factory, which I personally inspected. So Valentine's special, and I'll be letting you guys know about this until Friday next week. So we're trying to push as hard as possible so that you guys can get healthy and you avoid Suzakawanda. Right now, let's go to Victoria Falls. I'm very happy that people have started paying. So you need to make a deposit payment of $1,000 and then you get off your contract. And over 24 months, you pay the $300. We're trying to set up our office now So we need to raise $20,000 as soon as possible. So please, if you have gotten your form, just make your payment, National High Speed Railway bank account, and then after that, we're going to give you a contract. It will take a bit of time, and then you'll be on your way to owning a nice little tiny home, plus a business. You'll be part of the business that was setting up in Victoria Falls, and it's going to be amazing. So that is the house, the tiny house. That is what it's going to look like. We're probably going to use this material here because our panels have not yet been approved in Zimbabwe. So we're probably going to be using this material. Expect a house like this for yourself in Victoria Falls. You can make money from Airbnb. You can go and live in it. You don't have to live in the United States or in Europe or in all those countries where you spend 90% of your salary on rent. And then when you come back, you have nothing to show for it. So be part of it, be part of the Victoria Falls project. And the number to contact for everything that I've said here is this one here. I wanted to cover another important story, but I'll cover it at another point. Mnangagwa has restarted the lectures to the army. So I'm going to take out today the lecture that was given to the military yesterday by Mnangagwa through his foreign affairs minister, Munhumutapa. So I'm going to show it to you. Mnangagwa is panicking very, very badly. It's going to be terrible for Mnangagwa. It's the last days of Mnangagwa. Mark it this month. It's very, very important. I don't know kuti inishona kuti unotsangana ndira here ndichi, but mwedzi uyu wakaoma for Mnangagwa. In fact, the problem is that they keep hacking DeepSeek. I was going to ask him DeepSeek kuti ndipo mwedzi yechishona, but DeepSeek gets hacked on a daily basis. Let me see if DeepSeek app is working. Tione kuti inoziva here kuti mwedzi uno unonzi chii nechishona. DeepSeek, right? Mwedzi nechishona. Right, DeepSeek mwedzi nechishona. Guys, this thing is a shona. I like this. Now, DeepSeek is thinking very deeply. Right. 20 February nechishona. February nechishona. The problem is it overthinks. So it starts telling you the whole story about, right, February nechishona unonzi kukadzi. Guys, I'm not making this up. This app is crazy. I do not know who made DeepSeek. So the depends yes. So teach this to your kids. If you have a child, I install DeepSeek for them, so that they can not bother you. Any language, DeepSeek can speak it, and it speaks it fluently, and it writes in that language that you're asking it. Right. So it is listing for me now all the Shonamans. So it's ndira kukadzi kurume kubvumbi chivabvu chikumi chikunguru nyamavuvu gunyana gumiguru mbudzi zvita. DeepSeek yakapenga. No wonder why they're hacking it on a daily basis. It's going to be a drama in AI when they start making people, because that's where it's going. When they start making people, the Chinese will be able to make people who speak every language, and they'll be able to fight you in every country. So this is a big security issue, especially when you talk of what's coming, which is general AI. It's going to be terrible. They're fighting like in the DRC. They'll just send one robot and give him 1 million bullets and say, go to Goma, and you fly there. You'll be able to go and look and say, language, no danger. AI is very, very dangerous, and someone has to deal with it decisively. The advantages are less than the disadvantages. That is what I believe here, especially if it's in the wrong hands. So if AI is in the wrong hands, you have just seen what I demonstrated for you here. that you now have something that speaks your language and it's not from your country. Like every single word, no mistake, nothing. How did they do it? And this one is not captured by people. It learned this thing by itself. That is crazy. So let's go to the comments. Where do I buy Mube in Harare? Mukoma, WhatsApp me on this number. As I said, special is there only in Harare and UK. The other guys, there are no specials. There's a reason why there's no special. Because our pickup points are only in Harare and UK. Bulawayo already have their own special. So it's only Harare and UK, 2 for 1 between now and the end of next week. On Valentine's Day, the special ends. Ramaphosa is right. America is creating false stories to undermine the sovereignty of other countries. I don't think so. I don't think what you have to understand about the situation in the Middle East is that there are two sides and very, very strong feelings on each side. So everyone who is watching here, they have a side. Either you support the guys who are on the Israel side, or you support the guys on the Hamas side. Those things cannot be changed. So no matter how hard you try, you can't take a guy who supports Israel to go and support Hamas. And you can't take a guy who supports Hamas to go and support Israel. So the plan that President Trump came with, which is to remove everyone from Gaza and build a new town there. I don't know, but I like it. Very special for SA, please. No, SA, you're not getting a special. Your price is already too low. SA has got the lowest price of all, which is 650 rands for a packet, because you don't have courier. So SA in Zimbabwe with the lowest prices. UK guys are paying through the nose. The courier to UK is 1,200 per packet. Guys, that is crazy. And then let's see, M23 will be a better government of Congo than the current government. Mkoma Justice, I don't think so. The Congo cannot be solved. That place is a mess. Mata, Gambakwe kunyeba, money. Gambakwe kunyeba. That's crazy. And then morning, Mr. Parabolic. Yes, Mr. Parabolic. Did I show you the share price of OK Zimbabwe? Let me show you Parabolic. OK Zimbabwe's share price is plunged parabolically since January. Let me show you what has happened. The OK Zimbabwe share price, now that they're talking parabolic. OK Zimbabwe is going to be given a deal by the banks and it's going to be bought. So that is parabolic. So from 60 in January, and it is now sitting at 10, at 30. So that is a loss of almost 50%. That is what we call a parabolic there. I don't know who's drawing this graph. Maybe they just wanted to see. But that is what we call a parabolic. The next thing that is going to happen is called a lower low. So lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. The next is a lower low, and you measure it. It multiplies in threes. So when it starts, that move from 50, it went up to 40. Then that move from 40 went to 30. The next move is going to go from 30. It's going to go somewhere around 20. And then the next move is going to go to around 5 cents of the ZACC. So if you see your share price being 5 cents ZACC, that is a destruction of value. That is so trababulous. Trababulous. Mnangagwa aruraya vanhu nenzara. Ndakakuudzai guys, munhu uyu haazivi zvaari kuita. Mnangagwa, he is the worst president ever in the whole of Africa. And it's unfortunate. Then obviously, Todd Maforimbo has posted here. I think his sister has passed away. So go check out and pass your condolences to Todd. He's a very well-known politician in Zimbabwe. Right, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. As I said, I'm traveling today. I'm going to collect your Mve so that Mve 1 liter engine turns into 3 liters. 1 kickstarts and you don't have to crank it. So ukaona wamwa Mve for 3 months and you still have a problem and urukurara wakaisa muswe pakati pemakumbo. Phone me and I'll direct you to our herbalist. Guys, zoshota izvo kuti urare wakaisa muswe pakati pemakumbo. So if you are still that guy and you still face problems after 3 months, WhatsApp me, I'll direct you to our herbalist and he's going to deal with the problem for you. And also we can take you to a men's clinic. This week, I've gone to do my prostate tests. I've gone to do all my STI tests. I've gone to do, what else? All those tests that I'm supposed to do. This is my week here. I've done them. And I'm just waiting to tell you guys what's going to happen. And when you drink mve, so right in the morning, you drink mve. My cups are finished now. So you see at the bottom, this thing remains. That is the bark, right? The bark is the most important part. So the guys always ask me, do I drink that thing in the bottom? That is the stuff that you're supposed to drink. You're supposed to put it in water and drink the whole thing. Most powerful mve in Africa. Right, thank you very much, everyone. I'd like to thank you for everything. Please play with DeepSeek. What an amazing software. This thing is amazing and it speaks Shona. I'd like to thank all of you for watching. I'll see you again very, very soon. Remember to make your payment for Victoria Falls so that we can set up our office and so that you guys can have somewhere to go when you go to Vic Falls and see your project. Thank you very much for watching and a good day.